Today we're gonna do a glute and hamstring focused workout. And it's gonna be,
we're gonna explain how to properly do the exercise, and then a lot of really common mistakes when you do the exercise, so you can ensure that when you're doing this, you're actually targeting the exact muscles that you wanna be targeting.
yeah, so we're gonna explain like a little breakdown like for each one, so that way you understand, you're not just seeing us doing it, we're gonna explain why we're doing it. So it'll be good, so let's get to it. So you can see Victoria right now, she is squatting down in a low squat position, holding there for like 2 to 3 seconds. And this is just warming up the glutes, firing up the glutes. You need to do some type of glute activation in order to get the muscle ready for you to actually go through the lifting process. So here she is holding for a few seconds, coming back up, core is tight, squeezing those glutes to the top. And how many reps do you normally do of these? 15 reps.
So Sam's gonna be doing the leg swings, and the biggest thing with this is just really open up your hip flexors so you have more mobility. You're gonna be able to get lower in your squats, you're gonna be able to contract your glutes better. So you can just do one leg, like 15 to 20 swings, and then switch to the other leg. And just really focus on keeping your core tight, allowing the movement to like come from your hip as opposed to like your lower back or your leg taking the movement first. Keep doing those leg swings, girl. This is an example of Sam performing a squat correctly. So her feet are a little bit outside of shoulder width. Her toes are slightly pointed outwards. She's keeping most of the weight on her heel as opposed to her toe, which is a common mistake. She's shifting all of her weight back as opposed to shifting it forward. She's keeping her core tight and engaged the entire time. And she's really thinking about coming down like she's sitting down in a chair, driving up from the heel and keeping her knees in line. They're not going in, they're not going out. Engaging the glutes at the top. You can see her squeeze them. Good job. And just keeping her head and neck neutral. Good, 2 more. Nice.
So this is how to not perform the Smith machine squat. As you can see, her feet are not past shoulder width. Her knees are not quite stable, and you want to be stable coming up and down. She's not getting full activation of the glute, so this would be how to not do it. So if you're in this position, if you find yourself being in this type of position on the Smith machine, there's just some adjustments you can make. So you see how her feet were closed? She brings her feet out, her chest is up, her knees are stable, and all the weight is in the heel and it travels all the way up to the glute. It's a nice squeeze in the glute. Just a little adjustments make one hell of a difference. Good, good squeeze. So if you're warming up with just the bar and no weight, I would do between like 15 to 20 reps. Alright, now move into our first workout.
Yeah, but I would say this machine is equivalent to a normal Smith machine with having like 15s on each side.
Yeah.
It's a bit heavier.
A little has a little more resistance and a little tough. So we'll add like 10s each side and go into our first working sets. And also after like working out, you guys saw how to do it and how not to do it, and we're gonna do about 4 working sets.
Walking lunges correctly and not incorrectly.
Alright, so this is the right way to do it. Her knee doesn't go past her toes, her chest is up, her core is tight. She's contracting the glutes and hamstrings as she walks each time. So nice good contraction all the way down, driving with the foot out in front of her. So it's continuous. She's not like stopping in between, she's very continuous with it. Good. Okay, so I'm gonna be.
You're doing
incorrectly. So don't do this at home. Okay, so this is how to not do it.
So basically, see how all her weight's shifted forward, which is making her knee fall over her toe, which is what you don't want. You You want to keep your chest up, your core activated and nice and tight, and shift all your weight back. So the way she's doing it is going to really engage more of her quads as opposed to any of her glutes or hamstring, which is what we're trying to target in this particular exercise.
So if I were to adjust?
So adjust. So you're going to go wider stance, like put your leg out further. Good.
My chest.
Keep chest up, core activated, and keep all the weight back into the heel of the foot and drive up from the front foot. Good job, Sam.
Thank you so much, Victoria.
That looks way better.
Hell yeah.
And now you're actually targeting your glutes and hamstrings as opposed to activating your quads. Working the booty now. So this is the hip thrust. She's doing good form. So basically she's keeping her back straight, her core engaged the entire time. She's really driving from the heel of her feet as opposed to the toe. She's letting the weight come down and then really thrusting up with her hamstrings and glutes. And you can tell because she's using her hip as like a lever, so it's going down and then it's tilting up as she drives up from the heel. Working that booty. And she's breathing. Breathe.
So as you can see here, what she's doing wrong is not leaving her heels on the floor. If you don't leave your heels on the floor, you can't get full activation in the glutes. So you want to keep the movement pretty short. You don't need to go all the way down in order to maximize the benefit of the hip thrust. All you need to do is go like halfway, go right back up and get a really good contraction.
So let's fix it now.
Let's fix it now.
So I need to get up higher on this.
Yeah, so she needs to move up higher, more of her body on the bench.
Keeping my tension in my heels.
So Victoria is performing a stiff leg deadlift. Her core is contracted. She is driving with the heels, so she has the plates underneath her toes. That way she can put most amount of weight on her heels, and she doesn't come all the way up to the top. So she keeps the tension in the hamstrings very high. So she's pushing her butt back, her chest stays forward, and her back stays neutral. It's not rounded. She keeps a good weight. If you go too heavy, your back tends to round, so she's at a good weight where she can maximize the benefit of the exercise.
So there's a few things that Sam's doing that is wrong. First, she's locking her knee out. You never want to lock your knee out. Second of all, she's shifting her weight forward, so she ends up leading the movement from her lower back as opposed to her hamstrings and glutes. She's also rolling her entire back forward, which could cause an injury, especially in your vertebrae. And then she's keeping all of her weight forward again. Like I said, her neck isn't in a neutral position because it's kind of like going up and down.
Alright,
let's correct it.
Alright, correct it.
So slight bend in your knees. Back nice and straight, don't round it out. Shift all your weight backwards. Good. There we go. And now I can see the engagement in your hamstrings and glutes as opposed to anywhere else.
There you go.
Doing good now. Let's go. Hyperextensions for your glutes. So a few things that she's doing to make sure she doesn't put the resistance or tension on her lower back. So she's keeping a slight bend in her legs. She's also not hyperextending all the way up, so it takes any tension on her back. And she's also not going down all the way. So she keeps a very small range of motion, just so all the tension is literally right here in her glutes. Good job, Sam.
Alright, so so this is how not to, flying over here, how not to do a hyperextension. This is putting more tension on the lower back instead of just targeting the glutes. You really just want to have a short range of motion, but as you can see here, Victoria's going all the way down and all the way back up, and you want to make sure you're stopping about like 45 degrees.
So let's
and she's going to correct it right now.
So slight bend in my legs.
Slight bend in the knees, driving through her heels, going down about there, stopping right at like a 45-degree angle, and keeping that glutes are nice and tight. Good booty. Looks good. You can actually like see the contraction as she comes up.
So Sam is doing glute pull-throughs and she's demonstrating the core form. So she's coming all the way up, hyperextending her back, so she's putting a lot of tension on her lower back. She's also going all the way down, which is putting tension again on her back as she's curving. And she's also keeping her legs very straight as she comes down, so she should have more of a slight bend and keep the weight. It's almost like the last exercise we did. It's a smaller range of movement, but you're keeping the tension right in the glutes and the hamstrings, as opposed to her right now where she's getting more of a lower back workout. So let's correct it. Good. There we go. So she's coming all the way up to about here. She's engaging the glutes, so she doesn't have to hyperextend to put the tension on her back. She's also keeping her chest up, so she's not hanging over and rolling her shoulders. And she has more of a slight bend in her legs. Good job.